Let us now look at the example of dhatu shas, shasu anushishtau. Recall that this sutram etistu shas vru dru jashaha kyap prescribes the affix kyap following the six verbal roots. One of them is shas, shasu anushishtau. So when we take this dhatu and add the kritya pratyaya, the potential participle kyap, then anubandha lope halantyam dashakvatadite tasya lopaha, because shas ya. Now at this point comes a special sutram which applies only to the dhatu shas. Always keep in mind the domain of each sutram. How wide or how small is the domain? This sutram which you're going to look at now, from the Angasya Adhikara, look at the number 6434. The moment you see a sutram which is in 6.4 or in chapter 7, then it is in the Angasya Adhikara. It is talking about an operation which should be done on the Angam, the base, the term to which the affix was added. So, and this sutram only applies to the dhatu shas. What does sutram say? Shasa idang haloho. Shasa idang haloho. Okay, now the anuvritti is coming down. Anuvritti of upadhayaha is coming down, and kiniti is coming down. Upadhayaha and kiniti, the affixes are the anuvritti, sorry, is coming down. From a sutram which we have studied, 6424 we have studied, anidatam hala upadhayaha kiniti. So the anuvritti of upadhayaha and kiniti is coming down. So then the meaning of the sutram now becomes that let me just correct this over here. Okay. Shasa upadhayaha, anuvritti coming from 6424. It syat angi halado kiniticha. Halado kiniticha. So that is the meaning of this sutram, which means that the penultimate letter upadhaya, alontyat purva upadha, all these sanya sutrani are very important. So even though at the time that we studied them, they look to be kind of not that relevant, not necessary, but they are very important. So this sanya sutram, alontyat pura upadha 61165, which of course we know the penultimate letter. So antyat purva, so prior to the last letter means penultimate. So prior to the last letter means the penultimate letter is called the upadha. So this sutram simply says the penultimate letter of this dhatu shas, it takes the ikara desha, it taparastat kalasya. So it means the rasva ikara desha, when either followed by the affix ang or any affix which is beginning with a consonant haladihi and is a kit or a nyit. Of course, the affix ang is always a nyit, so there's no question of specifying kiniti with the affix ang. So the affix ang is a nyit anyway, always. So this kiniti really qualifies only as haladi. So there are two possible cases here, is that the affix which follows is dhatu shas should be the affix ang, or any affix which begins with a consonant haladi pratyaha, and it has to be either kit or nyit, which means that it has to have kakara or ngakara as it. Now, what is this affix ang? That is not the topic of today, but actually we have studied this affix. This affix ang, asyati vakti khyatibhyong. Asyati vakti khyatibhyong. So over here we have studied this affix, which is over here, asyati vakti khyatibhyong. This is an affix. This is the sich. This is chile sich, but then there are all these exceptions, and then one of them is asyati vakti khyatibhyong, which we have studied. And then below that there is sutram, but right now we're talking about the affix of the dhatu shas. So here we don't have the dhatu shas in the sutram, but a little bit below we have the sutram sarti shastyartibhyascha. Sarti shastyartibhyascha. So this sutram 3156 prescribes uh, the angadeshaha, and in place of chili. In place of chili, we get the angadesha, not the when following the dhatu shas. This chili takes the angadesha. Anyway, that's not today's topic. But if you want to look up the sutram and practice and go back to lung prakriya, sutram is 3156, which prescribes the affix ang, following the actually prescribes the ang adesha in place of chili. So in place of chili, a ang adesha being prescribed by 3156. 3156. If you want, we can quickly look at the vritti of the sutram, even though it's not today's topic. It says that sru shasu ru iti etebhya parasya chilehe angadesha bhavati. So that's the sutram. So 3156 prescribes the adesha ang in place of chili when following the dhatu shas. At that time also sutram will be required, but anyway, that is not today's topic. So for today, right now, what we need is that we need the second part over here, an affix which begins with a consonant and is either kit or nit. So let's take this example now. Shas plus kyap. Of course, kyap is prescribed by the sutram eti stu shas vr dr jashaha kyap. So shas plus kyap by 31109, shas plus kyap, and anubandha lope halantyam lashakvatadetasya lopaha. Now here, let's take the conditions. We have the dhatu shas. It is followed by a pratyaha which is anubandha lope ya. It's a haladi pratyaha. Okay. And it is also a kit pratyaha, sakshat kit. It does have kakara as a nit. So all the conditions are satisfied. So shasaha. And then haladau kiniti. So then what happens is that the upadha, the penultimate letter of shas, which is the akaraha, it takes the ikara desha. So we get shisya, shisya, shisya. And now we have to do the murdanya shakara desha. But we cannot use adesha pratyayoho, because adesha pratyayoho, as the sutram itself clearly says, only applies when a sakara is either a adesha, a substitute, or a pratyavayavaha. Pratyavayavaha. Pratyavayavaha means it has to be a pratyasya avayavaha. It should be a part of an affix. Here the sakara belongs to the dhatu shas. It is not a adesha. It did not come as a substitute. It is not a part of the affix. The affix is kyap. So this sakara is not part of the affix. So we could not use adesha pratyayoho. So then what do? Is that we look up this sutram which we have studied here, which is shasi vasi ghasinancha inkubhyam parasyaisham sasya shasyat. So right below our sutram adesha pratyayoho, Panini has a special sutram which we have studied, 8359 normally we use. That doesn't work here. So we have to use the next sutram, 8360, shasi vasigasinancha. So Panini specifically says when following a in letter or letter of the ka vargaha inkubhyam parasya esham sasya shasyat. So a sakara belonging to one of these three verbal roots, shas, vas, or ghas, gets the murdanya shakara as a replacement, as long as it is preceded by a letter of the in pratyahara or a consonant of the ka vargaha. Right now what do we have? Right now what we have is we have the situation of shis ya. So we do have the ikaraha, which of course belongs to pratyahara in, preceding the sakaraha. Sakaras belong to the dhatu shas. So then all the conditions for applying 8360 are satisfied, and then we make the murdanya shakara adesha, replace this sakaraha by the murdanya shakara. We get the form shishya. Shishya. Shishya is an adjective. So one who is worthy of being taught, one who should be taught, one who ought to be instructed, comes in Bhagavad Gita. I think it's verse number 7 of chapter 2. Shishyaste ham shadiman tvam prapannam. Very nice verse of Gita. So Arjuna says, I'm worthy of being taught by you. I'm fit to be taught, be instructed by you. So please tell me. I'm surrendered to you. Shadiman tvam prapannam. Anyway, so shishya is of course a very common word. Shishya. So shishya, we start with the dhatu shas. The affix kyap is prescribed by the same sutram we had before, which is the eti stu shas bru dru jushaha kyap, and the only special operation here is the upadha akaraha takes the ikara adesha by shas idangaloho. Then after that we do the murdanya shakara adesha by shasi vasi gasina jo 8360, and we create the Pradipadikam, of course the Pradipadika Sanya as usual by Kritadita Samasa. This is an adjective. It'll declension will be like Rama Shabda or Vana Shabda or like Lata Shabda, depending on who it's qualifying.